Bishagba assured the governor of his support of Ondo caucus at the National Assembly. He also expressed gratitude to God for the recovery and return of Governor Akeredolu, just as the South continues divine guidance for him in directing the affairs of the state. Now, Governor Osrc has expressed gratitude to eminent Nigerians, groups, organizations, and particularly the people. In an appreciation letter personally signed by the governor, Akeredolu thanked President Bola Tinubu, Vice President Kashim Shettima, leadership and members of the National Assembly, the Nigeria Governors Forum, as well as the Progressive Governors Forum. The governor who noted the prayers and moral support of traditional and religious leaders, civil servants, political class, market women, artisans, and civil society organizations, prayed God to shower limitless grace on everyone who stood by the government and people of the state during the trying period, while promising to continue to tow the path of progressive leadership in steering the ship of the Sunshine State. The governor equally vowed to redouble efforts in achieving the outlined objectives of the administration in line with the redeemed agenda. Meanwhile, the Deputy Governor of Ondo State, Lucky Ayedatiwa, has described the instant resumption of duty by Governor Osrc after his medical leave as a to fulfilling his mandates to the people. Ayedatiwa led members of the State Executive Council to welcome Governor Akeredolu in Ibadan on his return to the country from Germany, where he had gone on medical leave. Also commended the unity of purpose of the entire state cabinet all through the governor's absence. Ayedatiwa, who acted as governor while his boss was abroad, noted that Akeredolu was in constant touch with him from Germany, which goes a long way to show his concern for the welfare of the people of the state. While acknowledging the prayers of Ondo State residents for Akeredolu in the last 3 months, Ayedatiwa also prayed God to grant the governor renewed vigor for transformational development of the land and its inhabitants. In the meantime, the prompt recovery of Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu and his safe return to Nigeria from the medical vacation in Germany will inject a new lease of life to credible governance in Ondo State and engender equality in national politics for the people of Southwest Nigeria. That was a submission of a cross-section of dignitaries, including cabinet members, political associates, and well-wishers, while exchanging views with newsmen after an engagement with the governor at the Ibadan residence. His presence anywhere has become synonymous with equality, justice, and fairness.
Thank God for bringing back alive. I want to thank you for their prayers, because it's not easy. There are so many speculations, so many rumors around. Thank God for keeping him alive and for bringing him back. For a day like this, I want to thank God on behalf of our boss for what they have done. They have put laughter in their mouth, and we are very grateful. This is God doing, and it's part of the side. I want to assure you that the people of Ondo State is very happy. Both his party members and those on the other side. I can assure you that it's not something that will go away so fast. People will continue to talk about it. It's a man that has been declared dead several times.
To the Almighty God for giving him that privilege and grace to survive that test of time. So we are so delighted that he's fully back with us to carry on with his fully with his good work he has been doing in Ondo State, and most especially in the southwest of this country.
I cannot even measure my happiness. You see, I'm so elated, I'm so happy that the governor is back. And now that he's back, everything is back. It's a lot to me personally. Personally, why I give God the glory because Akiti is a person that you would love to see almost every day.
Ṣé mi mà lọ lọ́pẹ́ o, lẹ́wọ́ wòrè bàbá, láyé ọ̀gá wa ẹ̀wọ́ wòrè bàbá, nínú ayé wọn èmi mà lọ lọ́pẹ́ o.
Every citizen of the city have before we pray and God miraculously has answered our prayer.
We are very happy that God bless. And going forward, we wish him a total recovery, total and complete recovery. And we pray that God will grant him that, for him to continue all the wonderful job he's doing in the state, especially in the area of health.
The individuals equally solicited improved support and cooperation from all and sundry for the governor in his quest to reposition the state as a hub of investment and industrialization. The Ondo State government is now set to commence the channelization of waterways and clearing of drainages in Akungba Akoko and its environs to avert flooding. Ondo State Commissioner for Environment, Mr. Sunday Akinwalere, while on a visit to several areas affected by flood recently, blamed nonchalant attitude of residents to proper waste disposal resulted in blocked waterways for the men's. Osrc's Adewumi Taiwo reports that the commissioner urged the communities to desist from indiscriminate dumping of refuse, also cautioned people against erecting structures on waterways.
If you see elderly people that are inside, at times they have to carry them out. I will look for vehicle to carry them to another place to go and stay. We have many. Somebody is even sick inside this house.
Elder Jacob Ogidigbo, a resident of Akungba Akoko, explaining how the flood affected his house due to blocked waterways. Another resident, Felix Adegoke from Okusa Quarters in Akungba Akoko, attributed flooding in the area to lack of drainages, soliciting government intervention to avert greater disaster.
This is widening, is coming orders from that
Mr. Sunday Akinwalere assured the residents that work has already commenced on
We'll take a break on the news tonight. While we come back, NLC draws battle line with FCT Minister over demolition of residential buildings. This and many more shortly. Thank you for rejoining us. You're still on to Osrc News at 7. You can watch us live on our website www.osrc.ng or follow us on Facebook at Osrc TV and on YouTube. The federal government has expressed renewed determination to eradicate illiteracy in Nigeria, currently estimated as lamented that with 2030 agenda for sustainable development now at halfway point, over 244 million school-age children are still not in school across the globe, and 98 million of them are found in sub-Saharan Africa. According to the Minister of Education, Professor Tahir Maman, during the commemoration of the 2023 International Literacy Day in Abuja, the fight against illiteracy in Nigeria is a battle that must be fought and won, given the commitment of President Bola Tinubu. He added that the present administration has rededicated itself to mass literacy, which would guarantee that every citizen is capable of reading. And spoken Maiduguri during our 2-day working visit to Borno State, vowed to minimize humanitarian crisis by tackling poverty. According to the minister, it is important that the humanitarian ministry renews its partnership with the state and leverage on success recorded at the grassroots to find better ways of doing things in fulfillment of the Sustainable Development Goals 1 and 2. The Nigerian Labour Congress NLC has drawn a battle line with the Minister of Federal Capital Territory for demolitions of physical structures in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. NLC President George Jerry, in an interview with newsmen, accused the Minister of insensitivity, saying the demolitions mainly directed at the poor is more or less Nigerian version of Hitler's tyranny, while noting that the middle class is almost nowhere to be found in the court. The NLC president vowed to checkmate what he described as another era of bulldozers capable of rendering hundreds of working population homeless in Abuja. We take another break on the news tonight. Do stay with us. Glad to have you back. You still on to Osrc News at 7. Bearing any last-minute change, members of the Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, PEGASAN, and the Nigerian Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers, NUPEN, will begin withdrawal of their services from offices and all exploration locations across the country any moment from now. According to the labor groups, the threat was against the sale of the Nigeria Ajib Oil Company and in Nigeria to Owado PLC without due process and due consultations with affected workers. The union said the planned withdrawal of services was in solidarity support of the staff, the source of livelihood have been put on the line following the purported sale of the two oil companies. The two labor groups said their members in Mobil, Chevron, Total Energies and Shell companies have been put on alert to join the planned industrial action. Staying with issues from the multinational oil companies, Chevron Nigeria Limited, operator of a joint venture between the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited (NNPCL) and CNL JV, has refuted alleged involvement in crude oil theft in the Niger Delta creeks. An online media platform had earlier blamed international oil companies with particular reference to Chevron and another international oil companies, in the report purportedly attributed to the chairman of the House of Representatives at the committee set up to investigate crude oil theft in the region. However, in a signed statement made available to journalists in Chevron's General Manager, Policy Government and Public Affairs, Esimaji Bricken, noted that though it is aware of the online media report, all the allegations contained in it are untrue, incorrect, and made without any substantial basis. According to him, the company's commitment to working with government agencies and others to prevent oil theft and its impact on the environment was recently commended by the Special Investigation Panel on Oil Theft and Losses in Nigeria, set up by the federal government. And now to politics. The crisis rocking the leadership of the new Nigeria People's Party (NNPP) has taken a new twist. General election, Senator Rabiu Kwakwanso to amend the party's constitution and logo. According to the National Auditor of NNPP, Ladipo Johnson, the move is to amend the party's constitution is aimed at repositioning NNPP for more impressive performance in subsequent polls. Development is coming 3 days after the faction of the party, under the leadership of Major Agbo, expelled the presidential candidate of the NNPP for alleged anti-party activities and misappropriation of party campaign funds. Kwakwanso's expulsion, which was announced in a statement by the factional National Publicity Secretary, Absalam Abdurazak, has however been rejected by Kwakwanso's legal team. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) has urged the public to be vigilant and report any suspicious activities of internet fraudsters to the nearest. The agency spokesperson was in the Wujarin came on the heels of the arrest of 41 suspected internet fraudsters in Warri, Delta State. Operatives of the Benin Zonal Command of the EFCC said the sting operation was made successful by intelligence reports from well-meaning individuals. Wujarin said the suspects were involved in various forms of online fraud, such as romance scams, identity theft, and money laundering. While affirming that the suspects had made useful statements in the course of interrogation, Wujarin added that all of them will be charged before appropriate court of law as soon as investigations have been concluded. The Rivers State Police Command says it will leave no stone unturned in its quest to unmask the masterminds behind the killing of said to have murdered Bako Agbamashane while on official duty. The gunmen were said to have captured and dismembered him in Adwa East local government area of the state. The miscreants were believed to have laid an ambush for him while he and other police officers stormed criminal hideouts in the notorious axis of Awada East Council area. According to a source who does not want to be mentioned, the cultists were armed with about 4 sophisticated weapons and opened fire on sighting the operatives. A Nigerian student's journey from Lagos to London on board Egypt Air has taken a tragic turn when she reportedly fell sick mid-flight and later died in a Cairo hospital. The family of the deceased, identified as Meshoye Bremilekotoyosi, said they and assistance in repatriating her remains to Nigeria. The ill-fated journey began on Monday as the lady departed the Murtala Mohammed International Airport in Lagos as she headed for her destination in London. Meshoye's elder sister, Mrs. Olufumilola Olani Yalabi, who was in tears, said the family had tried to call the airline's customer care, but they could not get any positive response. The African Union AU is to join the group of 20 countries with similar development aspiration, known as G20, as a permanent member. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi made the announcement while inaugurating a leaders' summit in New Delhi for the world's wealth of the African Union, Azali Assoumani, to take his seat as a permanent member to the adoration of the other world leaders at the gathering. The summit in New Delhi comes as divisions over Russia's war in Ukraine continue to deepen, with the global community seeking answers to some of the most pressing issues such as economic imbalance and climate change crisis. And now to sports, Neymar surpassed Pele with 2 second-half goals in a 5-1 win over Bolivia in South America's 2026 World Cup qualifiers on Friday. The 31-year-old striker went into the game level with Pele on 77 goals and had a golden opportunity to break the record in the 17th minute, with Brazil were awarded a penalty. The striker, however, looked distraught after his soft spot kick was easily saved by Bolivia keeper Guillermo Vizcarra to keep the scores goalless. 7 minutes later, Brazil got in front when Rodrigo reacted quickly to slot him after a shot from Rafinha was parried out by the goalkeeper. Brazil doubled the lead just after the break, and Neymar had a hand in Brazil's third, but the striker's glorious entry to the history books came when he pounced on a loose ball inside the box to score the 78th goal in his 125th appearance for his country, prompting him to raise his hands in triumphant gesture as he gazed to the skies. Before we go tonight, let's take